Maybe not. Okay. So, I'm not here to talk to you about your product, about your business. I think we have had great exposure, already briefed you a lot about that. I'm here to kind of give you the reality check of funding in general, right? Startups sound like a very big word right now. Funding sounds like a very, very big word right now. But can you still make a business without funding? Is that possible? Do you guys think so? Any idea? No, I heard some no. So are you saying that before this funding concept was not very popular, businesses didn't really get made or they weren't that successful? They were, right? There are so many businesses before the funding concept actually came in. They were already thriving, already doing very well. Funding has now come in to amplify your growth capital and to amplify your business in general. It's not that if you do not get funding, you can't start a business or your business is not going to grow. So please, first of all, I would love for you to remove that thought from your minds. Again, my name is Priyam. I'm from Bombay. I have a company that's called Pause India. It's a Shark Tank India featured company. We've been funded by Anupam Mittal. Now to burst your bubble, thank you. Now to burst your bubble, you guys must be thinking that I just said that funding is not that important and I myself am funded. That's irony, right? But I have not taken up the fund. Even though we got a commitment from Anupam Mittal or Shaadi.com, we've not taken the fund is because somewhere down the line I believe that if I can make a profitable company by my own self, I do not need money from outside. And I suggest everybody's mentality should be same or similar. Funding is not bad, go for it if you get it, if your business needs it, but that's not a money you can put in your pockets, right? I hope you guys know that. So, thank you. I'm here to just cover a few points for you. I'm not going to talk too technical or too deep into business. We're going to talk about interpersonal things and something emotional here. So let's begin. So my first point is passion. Now, when somebody as young as you and me, we think about starting a business, there are so many things, right? Somebody loves to eat and wants to start a restaurant. Somebody loves clothes and wants to start a clothing business. Somebody wants to sell on Amazon. Hundreds of ideas, hundreds of thoughts daily. But which one do you pick on, right? Which one should I put my finger on saying that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life? It's a difficult decision to make because you have to sleep, live, eat with it almost every day, right? So how do you make that decision? I suggest, so it's not as typical as if you are into BTech, you do something technical. If you're a civil engineer, you do something in civil. It's not as easy as that. You must have seen that most of the people come from different parts of the world, different academic qualifications, and they just end up creating something so beautiful that was never in their portfolio, right? There are lots of case studies and examples like that. I just want to tell you here, how do you actually pick a business, right? There could be like about 5 or 10 things that you like in general in your life, right? It could be anything from eating to drinking to partying to going out or to doing or making a product, creating a lifestyle change, whatever it is that you like. You need to be passionate about that. And why I say that you need to be, some people can be passionate about motors, right? Girls can be passionate about clothes. Some guys can be passionate about makeup. It's all vice versa, right? You need to be passionate and you need to have the love for something that you're making. You wake up in the morning every day, go to the office. Why? Is it because you love doing what you do? A startup is not a job. You can't switch off at 7 p.m. and say that I'm done for the day. Your day continues, your business is running 24/7. You make money while you sleep, so you also work while you sleep. If you're sleeping, you get a work call, you wake up. That's what a startup is. There's no Sundays off on a startup. There's no trips on a startup. There's no vacations on a startup. I mean, if your work-life balance is that good, of course there is. But for the most part, it's working 365 days a day and feeling like you failed every day. But what's great about a startup is you get to try again the next day. If you fail today, you have tomorrow, you have day after, you have so on and so forth. You can always wake up and always get going once again. Even though you fail or even though some mishap happened, you have to wake up and tomorrow and go and get it. That's what passion is, and that's what is one of the most important ingredients of a startup on a personal level. This is not something outside of you, this is something inside of you. You need to love what you do. As simple as having to say that, it's very difficult to identify something that you love and you can work and also make money, right? Because at the end of the day, we are not here to love a product. We are here to make money. We are here to run our houses. If I say that, you love dancing and you can dance all day, but you won't get paid, will you dance? No. If I say that you love creating innovative products, but I'm not going to pay you, will you work on it? No. We are, bottom line, we are here for the money. We are here for the money, but passion is very, very important, because if you're not passionate enough, someday you will be so tired and you will give up, right? But if you're passionate enough, you will pull this through. So that's one of the main pointers that young people like you and me forget before we're trying to start. We look at some stats, some Google data, we understand this market is growing and we feel like we can jump in. No, you have to understand what is it that you can provide there, what is it that you can do, what is the value that you can add, and then you can probably move ahead. The second point that I would like to reflect some light on is bringing an idea to life, right? So now I already started with passion. Your idea is actually a brainchild of your passion, right? You find it's as simple as written in books. You find a problem, you work on a solution, and you start a business. But I'm pretty sure all of you find problems daily, all of you find solutions daily, but not all of you are in a startup right now. Okay, so let's understand this. How many here are actually entrepreneurs? Just raise your hands. And how many of you are aspiring to be one? Raise your hands. And how many of you are happily working for somebody else? Raise your hands. Okay, so that's very, very low. Okay, so we are a room full of entrepreneurs, right? So I was talking about bringing an idea to life. It's very important for you to understand that an idea comes to us almost 2 times in 1 hour, right? An idea could come literally anytime and every time. But can every idea be made into a business? Sadly, no. You have to figure out what is the problem solving task skill that you have designed and developed, and then you have to go for it. Because if every ideas were brought to life, they would also eventually fail a lot more faster. So you need to have this basic understanding. These are steps from before starting a startup, right? You need to do this evaluation before you actually incorporate your company. Having a startup is as good as just registering a name, and you can just walk around saying that I have a startup. But is there something sustainable to back on? Not really. So before starting, I would just suggest your idea and your love for your idea and for your product has to be very evident, and you need to be very sure. This is that marriage proposal that you will once say yes and you can't divorce, right? So if you're married, you're married. It's a commitment for life. And if you're failing, it's you who's failing. It's your family who supported you that's failing. It's your dad that's put in money, he's failing. It's you who's put in years of time, that's also failing. So there's a lot of risk at stake. So my personal advice would be that before starting, have your concepts clear, have your product clear. Don't go by Google data and Google analytics and what Google is telling you, and which market do you think is going to expand. Because if Google would tell everything, that then Amazon would have been predicted, right? But nobody predicted Amazon. It just happened, it just came over the time because of the need of the hour. So that's one of the things I suggest is very, very important before you can go ahead and incorporate your company, or before you even have those dreams of having a startup. It's very important for you to know your product and what way are you going to take that product. Feel free to kind of raise your hands and ask me questions anytime. We'll keep this interactive. Another point that I would like to shed some light on that nobody really talks about, especially in conferences like this, talking about something emotional is not you will not hear it. It's a taboo. But I want to tell you how taxing a startup is, how frustrating a startup is, how difficult it is to run a startup. I'm here to give you a reality check and not kind of let you live in that bubble and that glamorous thing that you kind of see on TV, that oh my god, he's a funded company, oh my god, that person has a startup. It's actually a very, very troublesome task. I'll just give you an example of myself rather than giving you case studies of really big people. Since the past 3 or 4 months myself, have been struggling with my own startup. It's not any of those problems that cannot be solved, but I cry myself to sleep sometimes. Sometimes my employees are not as nice as I feel. Sometimes my investors are not as great or not as aligned as I feel. But is there something that you can do about it? Not really, right? Problems are going to come every day. This is going to be really difficult. It's more difficult than the degree you're here to get. Problems are going to come every day, and you will be emotional. You will fall down every day. But just know that as long as you can stand back up on your feet, you're good to go, right? Don't be scared of the fact that लोग क्या कहेंगे अगर मैं fail हो गया तो, या how am I going to settle? Who's going to marry me if I don't have a business? Or what is my what is the use of my degree if I don't really have a startup or I'm not really making money? All of these questions, with the course of time, you will find the answers, and I assure you that, right? Today, it might not seem for you that what you're going to do 2 years down the line is going to be clear, but it will be. In the next 6 months, in the next 8 months, in 1 year, it will be. Loka ma'am rightly spoke about determination. If you were to ask me what is that one thing that can get you to be successful, it's literally only determination. There is no black magic, there is no maki dua, it's only determination, right? You have to come back at it every day, and you have to come full force with everything that you have. Every morning you have to open your laptop with the same amount of dedication, with the same amount of focus, with the same amount of decision making and the same amount of problem solving skills. And that's determination is something कि अगर आपका आइडिया आज बुरा है या अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट आज बुरा है, राइट, अगर आप उस पर काम करते रहोगे हर दिन तो वो धीरे धीरे ठीक होते जाएगा. Nobody has the perfect idea on day one. What I set off to make Pause India on day one is not where I am right now. And all the founders are going to tell you that, because day one, what you think you're going to make, and when you actually start making it, और वो जो बनता है वो कुछ अलग ही होता है. It's like almost like a pottery class में हम लोग जैसा एक pot बनाते हैं ना. So when we go to make that pot, हम एक देखते हैं picture Google पे कि हम बहुत अच्छा सा एक vase बनाएंगे. But when you actually go to make it, it comes out something very different, some different ugly shape. But that's our shape. That's what we created. It does the same thing, and you have to own up to what you create. So, like I said, determination is, I feel, one of the strongest pillars of success. Go at it every morning, full force, and there's nothing that can stop you. A bad product can be made into a good product. A bad company can be turned into a good company. If you're a bad founder, you will also learn and you will also be a good founder. But you need to be there every day, hustling and going for your work every day, trying to make a team, trying to get solutions, trying to sell your product, trying to kind of do the hiring on your own. You have to look at absolutely all departments, which gets me to my next point. Having a team is absolutely important. But do you start with a team? No. You don't start with a team. You start alone. You start as one single person and you grow to 10, 20, and then you multifold eventually. When you start working, do you think that you can go around knocking doors and asking for a co-founder? Not really. Do you think you can go around asking people to join your team? Not really. But what you can do is you can keep working on your own self and let your team actually come into formation. It will take some time, but you will find the right people. If you think you cannot start a business without right people, that's absolutely false, because finding the right people takes a lot of time. I am right now 4 years into this and I still do not have the right people in my team. I feel that. So for you also, for you to start, or for people who have already started, don't rely on a team. You have to be a one-man army in the start, right? You have to have an understanding of, a minimal understanding of all departments to start with. You don't have to be good at everything, but you have to understand a little bit of everything. That's the difference between being an employee and a founder. Lastly, power building. Power building, I basically use that concept to understand, to help you understand that growth in a company is very important. Starting a product, having a product, developing a technology, building a team, all of that is good. But where does your company reach after 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line? That's a very important question to ask. For any kind of company that sustains in the market, they have asked themselves that question of where am I going to be 20 years down the line, 25 years down the line, what is the company going to look like? And those are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself also. If you're trying to create something today, you need to have a 5-year or a 10-year vision, even if that vision is completely false. But you need to have that vision of what am I making, what is this going to look like 5 years down the line. This question is for you to ask yourself and nobody else. Nobody else answers this question. You don't ask this to anybody outside your own self. You ask your own self what you are looking forward to create in the next 5 or 10 years, and that's your answer. And just flow with it. Okay, not wasting much time. I'm gonna wrap this up really quickly. Funding, the biggest word of entrepreneurship right now is funding and having a company that's funded. Let me tell you, the process of funding itself is extremely tedious. It's not that easy to get funded. Call it a small amount, a big amount, call it a VC funding, angel funding, call it equity dilution, whatever you want to call it. Let me tell you, those terms sound very nice and very fancy, but it's very difficult to get it through. You know, when you lend your friend about say 2,000 rupees, how many times does the friend actually come back to ask for that money? Many times, right? मेरी मम्मी मांग रही है यार दे दे, मुझे ये लेना है यार प्लीज पैसे वापस कर दे, उस टाइम मैंने भरे थे प्लीज मेरे को वापस कर दे. This is a VC, this is a big as grown man who is going to give you the money and he's very sure he's going to take double the money out of you. So do not think that funding is the money that you can fold and you can put it in your pockets. You are accountable for every single penny that you pick up. That funding money is only for your company to grow, and it's got nothing to do with you, your lifestyle, your expenses, or anything else. This is a company making. The VCs or the investors, whoever you have approached, are looking at the company and are funding the company, because from my understanding, a lot of young people kind of have this belief that the tag of my company is funded is already successful. If I just tell you the ratio of the companies that are funded and drowned right now, it's humongous, right? It's winter for venture funding right now. That no investor is very keen and very open to funding. Why is as of now? Why is that? Because there is ton of money that's been lost. There is ton of money that founders have shown like a dream to the investors, and they have ultimately lost the money. And right now, who's accountable for the money? All the founders are accountable for the money that they have picked up from the market. So I want to tell you, you can build a company even without funding. It will be a slow and steady growth, but there will be growth. Okay? Do not think that a decline from a VC or an angel that's the end of the world, because it's not. That's just the beginning. Right? And one more thing from personal experience I would like to tell you is, when we're young and when we try to pitch to VCs and investors, the first thought we get into our head is, यार इसको समझ नहीं आ रहा, हम जो बना रहे हैं, और इसको नहीं समझेगा, या हम किसी और को समझाएंगे. But let me tell you that they are very, very well established people, and they have a good knack of what they are doing. If they are saying no to you for a reason, please go back, take your pen and paper and start noting what they have said, because that's a beautiful insight. Whatever the VC says to you, no for, take a note of it and try to work it out, so that you can, when you approach your next VC or your next angel, you have the answers of that question that the first VC has asked you. That's very important. Every no has a learning. Don't take it as a criticism, take it as a learning, right? And I'm almost done. Lastly, I would just like to tell you one thing, that failure is going to happen every day. Startup's middle name is failure. You can say that. You will literally fail every day. You will literally feel like the world is crashing. My team is not good. XYZ product is not good. Returns are happening. Sales are not happening. So failure is going to happen, but you need to give yourself that time to learn. Right? It's okay to learn, and it's okay to go with the flow. It's okay to understand. It's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is to stop. Don't stop. Just keep going at it. And even if, like I said before, even if your product's not right, the company is not right, the founder is not right, whatever is not right can be fixed on the way. Apart from you, everything in the company can be fixed. So you need to first fix yourself mentally and emotionally, and then everything else around you can be fixed. Like I said before, a bad product can be turned into a good product with time, but a bad founder, it takes a lot to make that founder good. So that's my only advice. And having said that, have a nice event so far. And catch up around if there's anything I can do to help you guys in a one-on-one session. I'm here for a while, and I would love to catch up. Thank you.